Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, and hey now. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Line Talk 99.5. I just during that break, I found a message
Mhm.
from somebody. It says, I'm a booking producer for Newsmax. Would you be available to be on one of our shows to discuss media madness? And
No.
yeah,
Yes.
and it's from November 20th.
Oh shoot. Well, you know what you could. Oh man, you like. Well, you've done a couple of them. Just respond back and say, hey, I'm sorry I saw this. I missed it, but I'm ready to go. Send me some. Send me information. I'm great. I was talking with Alex Stein the other day, and he had seen you on Newsmax, and thought you did a great job. Name drop.
Yeah, let me respond real quick. Uh
Because you look so good when you do that.
oh, thank you. So nice of you to say. Uh would love to come back on anytime if you need to reach out. My number is da, 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 da. I like to give all these TV producers my phone number because like if they're sending me a message, especially on Facebook, I don't see it. Like I just I don't check my messenger just because there's too much.
Yeah, but you can always go to Messenger and type in the search bar Newsmax, and it'll pull it right up if they
Oh
sent something.
really?
Yeah, you can do that, so you don't have to go through all of
Well,
them.
let me try that. Newsmax. Uh no, I didn't do
See?
that. Oh wait, if I click messages.
Mm-hmm. It's going to work.
Oh
I
yeah,
believe
yeah,
it.
okay, that
See?
works.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now you can check them.
Yeah, I don't want to go through all that though. That's a lot.
You're
Anyway,
right. You don't need to be on Newsmax.
it's
Yeah.
fine as long as they got my phone number. They can reach out to me, because it's been months. I mean, it was the end of last year. I think it was what I do, like 2 hits in November
Mm-hmm.
on
And they went
On
well.
Newsmax. Yeah, I thought they went well. They put me on with some nerd last time, and so I didn't get to say a whole lot. They were like,
You
"What?"
need to start talking over him. See, you got to create some
Start
sensation with
arguing
him.
with him. Like we
Yeah.
agree, but I just start arguing with him.
Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah, because I gotta eventually I gotta get on TV and I gotta put out that for people that are using tap water in their Navage, they're gonna turn
Mm-hmm.
trans. I gotta get that message out there. So who knows? Maybe they'll bring me back. It does concern me that after two appearances they stopped calling me.
Well, I mean, there were good appearances. It's probably that, uh, they ended up, doing that, and then it happens, and then I'm sorry, and all that.
What happens?
Yeah, it can happen, but
Okay.
I don't think they're deliberately doing it. I just think they need a reminder.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll remind them that I'm still alive,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm still a person.
Hey, hey, hey,
I'm
Andrew's
still
still
alive.
alive.
Mando, speaking of being
Yeah.
alive, if you want to feel more alive than ever, get yourself to Mando. I'm telling you, you want to feel alive, you want to have them endorphins flowing, that's the way to do it. I'm actually making my miraculous return to Mandu for the first time this week, even though I got all this crap going on in my head. I'm going to go back and get my workout in. I was so out of it over the past. I actually went Friday, so I really only missed one appointment, but I'm gonna get back at it, man. I don't give up on Mando. I mean, look at that for you on YouTube. Look at those. Look at that, John Bird. Look at
Good
that right there.
land. That's not an AK-47. That is a bazooka.
Oh, it's a bazooka, baby. The lighting does me justice right here if I get the right lighting. But Mando does wonders, and I'm telling you right now, if y'all try it out, especially you guys, you like that definition in your biceps. Women, you like things about your glutes and your abs and all this, that, and the other. Some of y'all just want to lose weight. You want to tone up. You just want to generally be more healthy. This is the way to do it, and to do it in 15-minute intervals. You can do it up to 3 times a week. You can do it once a week. It doesn't matter. You're going to get results no matter how you do it. And they've got the InBody machine to help you keep track of your progress. You can see it in real time. You got it on an app. They'll print it all for you, whatever you want. The trainers are amazing. The owners are amazing. And there's 3 locations for you here in Homewood, Huntsville, and Tuscaloosa. All the information for all of the locations online, manduu.com, manduu.com. And as you know, you got a free session waiting on you. No obligation, no strings attached. Just go in there, tell them you want to make an appointment, do the thing, and boom, you decide if that's something you want to do long term or short term. You want to do it for a month, 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, doesn't matter. It's up to you. Completely up to you. So try it out. Manduu.com, 205-438-6003 is the number here in Homewood. Make sure you call them and tell them that I sent you. All right, so Fetterman looked good. Al Green got booted from the State of the Union, like at the very beginning. If you recall, the last time he was standing up and shouting, waving his cane around until Mike Johnson finally had to ask the sergeant at arms to remove goofy-ass Al Green, which they did. Well, this time they wasted no time. They said, and we're not going to do it. Al Green actually brought with him a giant sign, and I think this is probably what got him booted because there's probably rules that you can't have big signs that, disrupt the whatever. But it was a big sign that it was a banner, essentially. It says, "Black people aren't apes." And he was holding that up while shouting at the president. This is all, and I think most people see this, like they view it as you're doing this for yourself. Like you're doing this for attention because that's the way we view people like that out in our normal lives. Like if we go to the movies or we go to a restaurant or whatever and somebody's being loud and obnoxious and making a scene, we don't think of them as like, oh, what a great person to be out there standing up for the people that had a hair in their food or whatever. No, we think like, what a jerk off. Like, get this guy out of here. He's ruining my good time. That's the way people see Al Green. And that's the way they see most of these people. A majority of these individuals were simply just trying to, and I'm talking Democrats. They were just trying to show their ass. It was very premeditated. Nothing was organic about it. They all planned it out as they do at every State of the Union. But good things did happen. I thought it was super cool when the USA hockey team players came out and were honored. John Bird, you and I were watching that together.
That was awesome.
And as the best part, as they were out there and they were standing, so they were at the top, which is, I guess, a section where the media is. So you got a bunch of nerds up there with their laptops and they're just typing away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, what's the need for reporters there? Like the entire country is watching this in real time.
Mm-hmm.
What are you reporting to us? Like what do you get paid to go and write about something that we're all watching? It's kind of dumb if you think about it.
They're giving their opinion is what it is.
This is the feel of the room. Donald Trump sucking all the oxygen out of the room.
And I think he had a cold, didn't he?
Who, Trump?
No, the reporter.
Oh no! So there was one. There was one standing beside the hockey player. I don't know if this was Jack Hughes or not, but he had a freaking mask on, and I'm like, dude, it's 2026, and you're still wearing a mask. And he was like leaning over, trying to get away from the guy. I'm like, what a dweeb. If I'm one of those hockey players, I would have ripped the mask off his face and thrown it off the balcony.
No, thrown him off the balcony.
And then took his mask and put it in his seat.
Yeah. But, what was interesting is I did catch at one point, that guy with the mask was checking out one of the guy's crotches.
Oh.
Yeah, Olympic guy. So,
well, I'm sure he's gay. But, yeah, he was sitting there with his little mask, fighting back against COVID or whatever. Also, Donald Trump ends up announcing that one of the goalie is going to get the Presidential Medal of Freedom at the White House, which is super, super cool. He said there's been, athletes in the past receive that medal. Donald Trump actually said 12 athletes in the past. I don't know if that number's accurate, but Yeah, super cool for him. That's kind of a big
Yeah.
deal.
And the White House dentist has volunteered to fix his teeth.
Oh, really?
Holy
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that. That's cool. Did you make that up or is that real?
I made it up and it was a horrible joke. It fell flat. I want to apologize to everybody out there.
Well, it sounds like it would be real, though.
Yeah.
So, good for them, man. One of the funniest moments I saw was when they first got to the White House and Donald Trump was showing them around. They were walking them down that outside walkway where they've got the presidential pictures, and there's the one with Joe Biden as the auto pen or whatever. And it's a video, and as they're walking, they're playing Freebird over the White House speaker system.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, dude, that's so America. That's so American. And how iconic is that for Leonard Skinner to be so associated with patriotism, so many decades later after that song came out? It's just like nothing says America like Freebird.
It's true. It's the most requested song at clubs by drunk people
Yeah.
ever.
And you actually hated it at one point.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's just when you play hundreds of gigs and every one involves Freebird, even when I had all original music, we released the album and we were playing out, people would still scream, Freebird. And it just got to the point where, it was too much, sort of like Stairway to Heaven, and all that. But, that kind of went away for a while. So now it's back. So now in my advancing years, I have a newfound appreciation for that song.
Well, over the past year and a half, the audience has constantly screamed and texted in the words Freebird, but I don't think they were requesting the song. They wanted to Freebird and have him come back to the show.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
So see, that song's got a new meaning for me.
It does. All right, a lot more to cover on that front. Let me hit this break, 205-545-9950, your phone calls as well. Hang tight. But maybe the cooler moments than the hockey team being recognized was the members of the military that were recognized
Oh,
by the president.
yeah.
You had Army Chief Warrant Officer Eric Slover, who was a U.S. Army helicopter pilot. He was honored for his actions and wounds sustained during the covert operation in Venezuela that resulted in the capture of Maduro.
Mm-hmm.
He's still recovering and was presented the award with Lieutenant General Jonathan Braga assisting in the presentation. You had retired Navy captain. This was the coolest one.
Oh, yeah.
E. Royce Williams, formerly a Navy fighter pilot, 100-year-old Korean War veteran.
Yeah, I believe that Trump said he was going to be 100 on July 4th.
Oh, really?
That's what was so cool.
He got awarded for his heroism in the 1952 aerial dogfight over the Sea of Japan. Melania Trump presented him the Medal of Honor. You saw that. Trump called him a living legend, which is 100% true. You also had Sarah Beckstrom, West Virginia National Guard, and Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, West Virginia National Guard, both awarded the Purple Heart for being shot. Beckstrom was shot fatally in November of 25 in the blocks from the White House. As you recall, those two National Guard members that got shot when we deployed the National Guard by that insane lunatic. Beckstrom's parents were there, calling her a true American patriot. Then you had Coast Guard Petty Officer Second Class Scott Ruskin, who was awarded the Legion of Merit for his extraordinary heroism in rescuing efforts during the July 2025 Central Texas floods.
That was great. And the little girl that he saved. Well,
Yeah.
he saved like 162, I believe they said.
Yeah, 100, I think, yeah, over 160 people.
Yeah.
So
And then when the old veteran shook hands with him, man, that was a powerful moment.
Man, dude, that was possibly the best part of the State of the Union, honestly.
And there were a lot of good ones.
Kyle's in Hoover. Kyle, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm just like you guys. I'm enjoying it because it was a great speech and it hit a lot of patriotism. And it was basically, I thought it was great because he was really just pointing out to the Democrats and telling them, like, this is your fault. This is why this happened. It was kind of like a father sitting there talking to his kids and being like, no, you screwed up. This is where you messed up. But I have to admit, it was beautiful when he was sitting there and he was talking about, please stand if you believe that you are here for American citizens and not illegal immigrants. And it was so funny because I didn't realize it until I went back and watched it. Tom Suzio, I guess he's the representative from New York, he had his head down, and when he started talking, he looked up, and then he starts biting his thumb like, oh, crap, like, what is he about to do?
Yeah.
And then when he said that, and you could – and the camera guy, whoever the camera guy was, give that guy a raise because every time, whether it was the transgender thing, he went to the one representative, and then when it was about Somalian pirates, straight to Ilhan Omar. But it was so funny because you could see it on their faces. They were like, we walked right into this. We can't stand up. But now what do we do? And it's like you could see it on their faces like, man, just get this over with. But the Republicans would not let it go. They're like, no, we're milking this for everything it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see it work so well because when they both all sat back down and he goes, you should all be ashamed of yourselves. What did Ilhan Omar scream? You've killed Americans. And then Rashid Tlaib next to her and like, oh, well, Alex Preddy wasn't a criminal. And it's so funny because it was like, none of that works anymore, guys. You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah.
But I guess my question, and I wanted to ask you and John Byrne this, is it just me or is it like these people keep talking about how Trump is such an idiot, he's a buffoon, he's all this. Then how does he keep tricking you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, how does he keep getting one up? Like, because if you take the Democrats and what they're saying on a daily basis, they're constantly complaining about the stuff that Trump is, quote unquote, getting away with. Well, if he's such an idiot, how is he getting away with all this stuff? Why haven't you been able to stop him And nobody seems to ask him that question. I mean, that should shut the debate down right there. He's obviously not that stupid. And plus, to the point of the cameraman, the way the Trump administration operates is everything is very deliberate and everything is thought out and planned out ahead of time. I can almost guarantee you that the White House coordinated with the cameramen that were there and told them, hey, here's the speech. And during these parts of the speech, I need you to make sure you're panning over to these people. I need to make sure you put the cameras on the Democrats when we ask people to stand up for this, that, and the other to make sure that it turned out perfect and the American people could see that the Democrats refused to stand up for what are the most vulnerable or disenfranchised Americans in some of the most tragic situations, such as the Ukrainian girl out of North Carolina that was stabbed on the bus. You know, they won't stand up
Totally.
for her. Like, yeah, for average Americans, they don't like that. And I've seen it on social media. A lot of people saying, you know what, I may not be a Trump supporter, or I may be neutral, but I was disgusted last night watching the Democrats refuse to stand. And I'm kind of like, welcome to the party, everybody. I've been telling you, we've all been telling you how disgusting these people are. I'm glad it got put on center stage last night. So, but anyway, Kyle, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I think Kyle got kind of lost in the weeds there at the end. Couldn't hardly hear
Yeah.
him. But yeah, it was very well laid out, I think. And I'm glad that we got to highlight how ridiculous and um how much the sheer lack of compassion that these people have. The tragic case of Delilah Coleman, the little girl who got tragically hurt and is now permanently disabled in a car accident caused by an illegal alien driving a semi truck with a CDL that a sanctuary state had given him. Her injuries included traumatic brain injury. She's now got cerebral palsy, and she's going to need lifelong care and therapy. This driver that caused this accident out in California crossed the border in 2022 and was released into the country by the Biden administration. Some guy from India had no idea how to read road signs or nothing. Just got out there on the highway and literally railroaded this little girl's life. Partop Singh was his name. Ruined this little girl's life. And the Democrats can't even stand up. Why? Because they're in the business of protecting illegal aliens more than they are this poor little girl out of California. 205-545-9950. 545-9950. We'll get you in. Don't forget, we're on the YouTube. Real Talk 99.5 TV. Real Talk 99.5 TV. And coming up, the 10-year anniversary of Talk 99.5. A Jawbone Jam. Coming up in Iron City right here in Birmingham, May 15th. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Just search Talk 99.5. Get your tickets, and we want to see you there. I got Stacy on the line. Stacy, how are you?
Drew, I've been listening in this morning and sounding good. Listen, Andrew, let me tell you what Trump's problem is, connecting. This is where the problem is. Everything that happened last night, I didn't watch it all, just pieces of it. My wife watched about 15 minutes, but I was in Irondale for this viewing, and it went amazing. 120 people there probably. But this is what the deal is. If I come in here, I'm going to use you as an example. Trump last night had those guys that let me see where to start at. If I were those, let's start over. Those Democrats, I wouldn't even have shown up at all for that thing because it was a setup and they were going to make them look bad. And either way they go, he was going to make them look bad. And I probably wouldn't if I would have been knowing that I was a target, not do it. But Trump could take that and do amazing things. But let me tell you what he'll do. He'll go out today and he'll get somewhere, getting on an airplane, and he'll say something like this. He'll say, I'm amazing. And I tell you, I'm the most amazing president that there ever was and there ever will be. And then he'll start talking. And so where he loses the independence is when he does that, people lose it. And he would gain so many more people if he wouldn't do that because the message last night, he looked like the Democrats looked terrible. But he'll take that same message and ruin it. It'd be like me telling you, Andrew, you're the best thing since sliced bread. You connect with people. You're the best radio host anywhere around. But if you said that, it would turn everybody off. And he needs to hire somebody with him. You know, in that movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? They had that guy, Homer Stokes, had that little midget was doing that sweeping. And he'd say, Homer Stokes is the best thing in the world. He's going to have to find somebody, and if he wants to hire me, I'll just go around with him and say the good things that I know about him, but he needs somebody to do that, not himself. That's where he gets hurt.
Yeah, well, I didn't really see a lot of that last night. I saw most of what he was talking about was accomplishments and what they're trying to tackle, and in particular, what Democrats have been standing for, which, you know, has been noted about how he called out the Democrats on their radical positions. And he did a phenomenal job of making them look like idiots. And that's all outside of all the people he mentioned and honored and everything else that have been affected by these detrimental Democrat policies.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm saying I didn't see all that. I didn't see any of that last night. But what I'm saying is what he'll do today is he'll ruin everything he did in this State of the Union address by going around bragging about himself for the next 3 or 4 days. Everything he did to help himself with independence and the kind of the moderate people where they really need it, he'll go out and brag on himself all week. And I know it's not popular to say that, but he's got to stop doing that. If he wants to get somebody to brag on him, he needs to hire somebody to do that. But what I'm saying is he didn't do it last night that I saw, but today, for the next 3 days, he'll ruin everything he did by running his mouth about himself. And it's a tough thing, but that's what he's going to do. He always does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way I see it. And I call myself independent now with Republican tendencies. But see, independents tune things out. Proverbs 6, verse, I think it's 16 through 19, there's 7 things God hates. And the number one thing is pride and arrogance. And that's the reason I read that every day, to try to stay humble. And I see you as humble. I mean, you don't think you're better than anybody. You just on here doing a radio show, having a good time, trying to get your listeners involved. But see, that's the thing God hates. And that's the thing I don't like, is pride and arrogance in people. I don't like it in myself. So I check myself every day about that. So if he could handle the pride and arrogance, he'd have a lot more support than he has now. That's my opinion.
I got you. Well, Stacy, listen, I appreciate it, buddy. Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, good to hear from you, buddy. Thank you.
The way I keep myself humble is I get on the air and I talk about all the problems I have.
Yeah, I mean you're loaded with them. I mean,
I'm like, I'm a mess. Like, y'all don't think I'm
a
perfect.
hot mess if you're a mess.
You are. You're more of a mess than I am. But anyway, to the point of Trump and like this idea that he's always talking about himself for the next 3 days he's going to do that. I really don't think that's the case. I just, as Stacey was talking, I was thinking back on like how Trump has conducted himself during the second term. While yes, that was the case in the first term, because he didn't have the accomplishments to run on at that time because he was new to the game. This time, I feel like I've seen a lot less of that. A lot less of him talking about himself, and it's been more focused on accomplishments and what the other side is doing wrong.
Yeah, there was a lot of we last night.
Yes.
There wasn't so much I. There was a lot of we have done.
Yeah.
We have done.
And I think that goes to the fact that as I've preached time and time again, that this administration, the second time around, is such a well-oiled machine that all of the things that were done wrong, or where they were shooting themselves in the foot, or Trump himself was shooting himself in the foot in the first go round, they've corrected those things, and they're 10 times better than they ever were before. So I think I probably disagree with Stacey on that front. I don't think he does as much of that, at least as what he used to. But there are people that still have that opinion of him, that think that's who he is. But in reality, if you watch him from day to day, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he's kind of on a journey anyway. And remember, God uses people. David was proud. He got humbled. And maybe something will happen in Trump's personal life where, he'll be humbled and called to repentance.
Well, and I think that bullet grazing his ear in Butler, Pennsylvania,
I think that did some changing.
Was one of the big turning points for him. He said just the other day when he was having that ceremony for the Angel families, he told them, he's like, I'm your friend, and I don't know. He said, I've got a lot of people gunning for me, and I don't know how long I'm going to be here. He said, but while I'm here for you. And so it's been a lot of, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this, with the team, trying to pull Republicans together and everything else. Now, on the other hand, if you go against him, he's going to talk a lot of smack about you. You can have your opinion on that, whatever. But that's who Donald Trump is. But, it's a lot more of a unifying message than it once was. Clarissa, up next. How are you, Clarissa?
Hey there. I disagree to an extent with the last caller. He said that Trump, quote, ruins everything, by bragging on himself. But I think, unfortunately, in politics, it's about keeping score because it's about who produces what results. Gas is still low. Today, when I went to the gas station, groceries are still coming down. Investment firms are still not able to buy these single-family homes, hindering single parents from being homeowners. I definitely got grandpa vibes last night. I loved it. I thought it was the best State of the Union I've ever watched, and I'm almost 50 years old. One thing I wanted to say about the Democrats, though, I think that they care more about agenda, not Americans. And the secondhand embarrassment I had from Ilhan Omar and the Michigan representative sitting next to her with the ice pen had my chin on the floor. The bar was already at zero with the Democrats in this country, yet somehow they managed to dip into the negative numbers for me in my book personally last night. Their vile and unjustified anger will cause them to self-implode, hopefully sooner rather than later, and there will be no more Democratic Party in the United States.
That's the key right there, Clarissa. I appreciate it. That's what I've told you guys. At the end of the day, the way to save the country, not just save the country, but save the country from these people, is to dismantle the Democrat Party. That party has got to be dismantled top to bottom. And if they want to go and create a new party or create the Democrat version of the Tea Party or whatever it may be, go do it. Maybe you can get together and say, hey, what we did last time ain't working. Maybe we need to be a little more moderate. We can still have our leftist ideas, and be a little more liberal on this, that, and the other. But we've got to move more towards the middle, and they haven't done that. The Republican Party went through that. They went through a huge transformation with the emergence of Donald Trump. Think of what the Republican Party was in 2014, in 2012, in 2008. It was in shambles after George Bush. We're putting up John McCain. We're putting up Mitt Romney. Can you imagine? Think of the world we live in now, and then imagine to yourself putting up a Mitt Romney to run against the Democrats. That Mitt Romney is your candidate. Like, it was in shambles.
Man.
The party was divided, and the Democrat Party is divided in this sense as well, to where you've got the moderate Democrats and then you've got the radical left wing that is, in some cases, taking over the party. They're in a bad position, and you've got to kick them while they're down. You cannot let your foot off of these people. You got to keep them down. You've got to dismantle this, but you've got to ruin the Democrat Party. And you know what the way to do that is? Blow them out in the midterms, blow them out in the 2028 election, blow them out one more time if you got to in the 2030 midterms. And I think if you can do that over the next 3 election cycles, you may in fact see the end of the Democrat Party as we know it. They won't recover. And I know that seems like a stretch. Like, how in the world could you pull off 3 straight elections with the Republicans sweeping, all 3, the Senate, the House, and the White House? But crazier things have happened. But that's got to be the goal. And people have to understand that. The Democrat Party, if they garner any success with the way they are currently constructed and the way they currently act, it is only going to embolden them to act that way even more. They're going to get more radical. They're going to get more dangerous. And it's going to cause great detriment to this country. Mark my words. 205-545-9950. More of the line coming up right after this. John Bird, you need to look at the I
Mhm.
just posted a tweet. Well, I posted a couple of them, but
Mhm.
you need to look at the one that I just sent you. And if y'all want to see it, at AndrewMcLeanWho.com. I mean, at Andrew McLean Who on X. It's I missed this part last night. It's a video, and it's Donald Trump calling out the Somalis and everything else, and it pans to Ilhan Omar, and then she rips her hijab off, and you can see her hairdo, and then all of a sudden she puts on a pirate hat and holds up a saber,
No.
starts screaming, yeah, like a Somali pirate. It was wild. You should see, it. It's right there on video. You should see it. Totally not AI. Got to be 100% real. I just missed it. If you pulling it up now?
Yeah, I'm trying to. It won't do it on the computer.
Yeah, forget that computer, man. You got to use that iPhone 16e. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
That high-tech iPhone you got there, buddy.
Ilhan Omar.
I texted it to you.
You texted it to me.
There's no reason for you to search it.
Ilhan Andrew.
It's in the over-the-line group.
Okay, I found it.
Okay.
Friends who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm.
What?
Immigration and open borders fix those problems right here in the U.S.
You got to post that.
I'll show it. For those of y'all watching on YouTube, watch this real quick. Let me show you. Hold on. Where's that? Here we go. I don't have the sound for it, but you can see. She's like, totally missed that last night. That's crazy. I don't know how I didn't see that.
No wonder she wears a hijab.
The old hijab. Yeah, Trump went off on Somali fraudsters during the State of the Union and actually announced that J.D. Vance is going to serve as the new fraud czar. He said, we're not playing games. J.D. Vance is going to now be on the case and leading the charge. Because, that's what you do with the vice president. You kind of give him a project and say, we want you to concentrate on this. And so they go out there and tackle whatever issue it is. Like Kamala was the border czar, or, what previous vice presidents, what did they do? What did Mike Pence do?
Sat around and
Be a dweeb?
yeah.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden was the, he was the hair sniffer czar or whatever.
Sniffers are.
They have stuff that they do. And so J.D. Vance is going to handle that. Trump said this is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of our nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although it started 4 months ago, I'm officially announcing the war on fraud will be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance. He said he'll get it done, find enough of that fraud. We will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. And, people talk about our deficit or our debt in this country and $36 trillion. And it's like nobody ever has really, over time has really talked about the tremendous amount of fraud, especially since 2020, that has occurred in this country. If you were able to recoup the fraud just since that time, just since COVID, and put it towards the debt, imagine what you could accomplish. Of course, you're not going to recoup that money, but if you can put a stop to the fraud that's happening, you'd be amazed how much money that we would save and how that money could be attributed to other things. Now, of course, as Donald Trump was talking about this, Ilhan Omar lost it. She started screaming that you killed Americans. And the camera panned over her to when she was doing that. This was also during a part. He says, if you agree with this statement, stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. Republicans obviously stood up and cheered while Democrats remained seated. That was a master class in showing the American people where these individuals stand. Because Donald Trump knew good and well that they were going to stay in their seats, that they weren't going to budge, and that it was going to be there for the world to see. And then at one point, the Republicans, actually it happened several times, they were chanting USA during the State of the Union, and you could see Rashida Tlaib chanting KKK instead of USA, which is very stereotypical of the Democrat Party, which is the party of the KKK. History tends to repeat itself. Democrats chanting KKK yet again. I did notice that they didn't all coordinate and wear all white, looking like Klan members this time around. They decided instead to wear vulgar pins with the F word on them. But what do you expect, man? Republicans for the USA, Rashida Tlaib, Democrats for the KKK. I think that needs to be a by the way, there's a lot of stuff, and I even think Mike Johnson mentioned this, that the Republican Party can use in the lead up to the midterms. A lot of footage from last night they can use in commercials and TV ads and say, this is the Democrat Party, this is the Republican Party.
Yes. Democrats not too smart last night.
Use their own stuff against them, man. Take their stuff out of context. I don't care. The lie about them. Do whatever. Who cares? These people are evil. Take Rashida Tlaib chanting KKK and say, hey, look, the Democrat Party's for the Klan. Here they are chanting it. And just put it out there on social media and let it run wild. Like the propaganda that they do. He points to the Democrats in the chamber and says, these people are crazy. They're crazy. So, anyway, a lot of good moments last night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it doesn't get much better than that.